So we're finally doing this. Good to finally have this podcast going.
Yeah, we meant to do this months ago.
Yeah. It's good that we're finally doing it because I feel like for the people who come in to 10 men's business, they only know us through the event. Like they only know us from what we've told them so far.
And that's not much.
Yeah, it's only still like surface level.
Yeah.
But that's why we're doing this, I guess. And I want to know more about like your military background. I don't really know that much other than from what you've shared. But
which also isn't much.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess this is like opportunity for both of us to talk about our backgrounds and also our motivations for men's business. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll start with the motivations behind men's business. I guess just going through certain things in my life, getting into a lot of shit when I was a kid. You know, always in trouble at school.
Yeah.
Not always in trouble, but teachers had a problem with me because I guess would think for myself and I wouldn't always do as I was told because I didn't agree with what was happening or whatever.
So you had like a rebellious nature.
I did.
Yeah.
I did. It wasn't extreme. If I had a teacher that was sort of open and caring and empathic, let's say, I would always get along with them.
Yeah.
However, I did have teachers who were, let's say, not genuine.
Yeah.
You can take that whichever way you want. That was my perception of it. There was one teacher in particular, I remember in 4th grade, that he was just a dick. And I didn't care what happened. Like, if he said something to me, let's say he would talk down.
Yeah.
For example.
Yeah.
You know, I was a redhead as a kid, redhead with freckles, and that would come up from time to time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just wouldn't do as I was told for people like that. Whereas on the other hand, other teachers that were, as I said, genuine, warm sort of people, I would get along with them like a house on fire.
Yeah. It's much more easy to connect with a teacher when they're like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was where in mathematics, for example, where I was pretty good at maths when I was younger, and then I got to 1 year, I think it was 4th or 5th class, where I had a teacher that just didn't care, switched off for me. That was it. And then from there on, I was in like maths in space, and then later on, when I did carpentry and building, for example, I didn't have an issue. Like trigonometry and sort of more or less advanced maths would just come quite easily.
Yeah, no, I can relate. I had a lot of teachers in school that I didn't resonate with, and then the ones that I did resonate with were generally like topics I really enjoyed, like if it was drama or English or expressive kind of stuff. And same as you, like the teacher was actually connecting with us and actually cared about us and our progression rather than just teachers who like
to show up for a paycheck.
Exactly. Yeah, you can tell. You can totally see the difference, and like they show up as like the authoritative types, which I was the same as well when I was a kid. Never really respected authority. Like I feel like authority is kind of an earned thing. Like it's got to be a mutual respect for each other first.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the teachers that I did resonate with, it was always like they genuinely were there showing up to help us grow and
care.
Improve. Yeah, exactly. Which is what the teacher should be doing.
I agree, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's part of why I'm in men's business, because I've, you know, when I say been through a lot of shit, okay, let's go into that. I've had quite a few relationships before Athena, and struggled with various things, communication, you know, expressing what it was I was feeling at the time, etc. There's a whole list of things. Just, I guess, let's say it was probably, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago where, well, there was one defining moment, as I've said in the men's business groups where something happened with me, and I thought I was going to die in the back of a paddy wagon, handcuffed.
Can you go into that? I'd love to hear what the...
Okay.
Because it sounds like, from what you're saying, like it was a catalyst for you, right?
It was, because 2 weeks later I was on a plane to Israel, and that's obviously where a lot of growth happened as well. Okay, so basically we had been at a party of friends, probably one of my best childhood friends who was married with a kid. We had been at a party drinking, a restaurant that his wife's family owned in Surrey Hills, and his younger brother, who said he would drive us home, not to our knowledge, had a suspended license. So we were in the car. You know, this was going back 20 years, where you'd have the windows down and being rowdy, and a bunch of hoons, etc. And we were just having fun, you know, had the music up, and then obviously one police patrol spotted us, pulled us over, and then they did a license check on the younger brother, found that he was suspended, wanted to arrest him. My friend's wife got out, said no, you can't, and she was Spanish. She's Spanish, so she has that fiery,
hot-blooded,
which, you know, you stand up for people, and that's exactly what happened. And the cops actually ended up, there were like 9 cops, so a number of patrol cars showed up. We got into sort of a scuffle with them, where there was another female cop, and she just didn't like my friend's wife. And it was all BS, because they really didn't need to go that far, and they were pushing us and this and that, and then one of the cops pushed my mate's wife, which understandably he reacted. Then the guy grabbed my friend in an arm lock sort of thing, so I came along, grabbed that cop in a headlock and pulled him off.
Right.
I controlled myself, like I didn't cut loose or anything, but I was standing up for them as well.
Yeah.
And then I got maced quite badly and ended up in the back of a paddy wagon, handcuffed, and I guess had a severe asthma attack. And I couldn't call for help because I was like, and I was like, wow, this is going to be a fucking shitty way to die. Like, and I thought that was it. Yeah. Anyway, then I sort of gasped and managed to breathe. And what happened after that is they pleaded not guilty, and you know, the cops were sort of rebutted, I guess, for using excessive force and
because I was going to say,
overboard.
Like, some police, they just abuse their
their
role and their force,
and I had actually a ticket to Israel booked for pretty much 2 weeks after that, so I pleaded guilty just because I knew that if I pleaded innocent it would drag on, and I just wanted to get out of here. So I was on a plane, headed to Israel, where I was going to live for a few years, I thought, just to sort of get out of the...
Was the purpose to go and do military?
Yeah, that was part of it. Yeah. I definitely wanted to join the military because that's something I'd always wanted to do as a kid. Or from being a kid. And yeah, just, you know, I was there when I was younger, a few years before that. I loved it, wanted to go back, had some friends there, no family there. And yeah, you know, headed over, and I guess that was probably where I started really looking into things like I, you know, want to make something. I've always wanted to make something out of myself, but I guess I was sort of too caught up in the way things had been growing up, which was being rebellious and getting into trouble, and I just sort of had enough of that. And going to Israel was sort of like a fresh start, you know. Like they say, you can go places, but you always take your baggage with you. So even though I was there, it was easier to work on myself because then I sort of started speaking to people. And Israel is a lot more It's very different. It's a very different culture. It's very family orientated. Like even people in the streets will greet you more warmly, more genuinely than sort of here. It's like everyone's sort of like, oh hi, how are you? And it's like no one really gives a fuck how you are. They just ask that out of politeness.
Yeah, but here it's like most people are just focused on themselves and.
Anyway, then I was on kibbutz, this and that, and there was groups of people, and there were always tensions and this and that, and I guess that sort of brought to light what which aspects of myself I needed to work on, because then I found that people were irritating me. I mean, I've always been an introvert, something I didn't actually realise until later, that I do need my alone time and I can't be around too many people too often.
Yeah.
It's also like, sometimes I won't look at my phone, or if my phone rings, I'm just like, I can't talk now. I'll get back to whoever it is later.
Yeah.
And, I guess went into a few relationships there as well, then realised I've got other things to work on. Saw a psychologist. When I did get married there, I got married and divorced there. Couples counselling, and did dabble with LSD. So that sort of brings things more to the forefront of your mind, especially if you have a bad trip, which I did once. So was on to kibbutzim, which was quite nice. It's sort of a communal living. Then went back to Tel Aviv and joined the army.
How long were you in the military for?
2.5 years.
Okay.
So I had, the compulsory term is 3 years. I had only had to do 100 days, I believe, at the beginning, something like that.
Yeah.
Just because I was 28 and the standard draft age is 18. So they say, it's all right, you don't have to do the full thing. And I volunteered to do extra time because I wanted to be in a fighting unit. So did that, went to what they called Gibush Tzanchanim, which is like, I forget what the English translation is. Tryouts for paratroopers, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
So there's like this whole 2 days that you go and you're carrying things and sandbags and people on stretchers and crawling, and it's quite full on. I finished that, but I didn't get accepted. It was all new immigrants. So there were 160 of us, and I think they took 16 in the end. And because I'd finished that, I was allowed to go to whichever unit I wanted. So when I was at the, what would you call the bakum? It's like central command, where people get allocated to their units.
Right.
So all the new draftees come in, gather around, get worked on. So you would say in Hebrew, avdulai, which is like, they tricked me into going into this unit. I ended up in a division of artillery, which was then a secret unit, and I'm not going to go into it here.
Yeah.
So we were sort of like a combination of, it wasn't the cannons, we were more like an infantry unit with, let's say mechanized infantry unit.
Yeah, okay.
So we had Hummers, we had armoured Hummers, a sort of tracked vehicle, and during the day static war, I would call it, with the Palestinians, we would do patrols and go into villages and arrest people that had done or suspected terrorist acts, etc.
So, I'm curious to know, because like you said you were in the military for a few years. How much of a change did you feel like you went through from like when you first started to after you got out?
It's quite big.
And what was, like, without going into too much detail, like what were some of the big like takeaways or experiences or things you learned about yourself?
Okay, so from the beginning, I guess being 10 years older than everyone, I really saw the childlike mentality, I guess, of everyone who was 18. You have to be 18 to go in, so, you know, we did... so
it would have been very green and like...
Yeah, very. Just straight out of high school.
Yeah.
So we had... God, what was basic? Basic was 6 months, then 3 months advanced, and then I did another 3 months of commander's course because I became a sergeant. And the change that I saw in it's literally boys to men, like from the beginning until the end, you know, they break you down.
Yeah.
They make you, the commanders make you hate them. I think this, probably me being a bit older or whatever, because I studied, this before I went to Israel, I studied 2.5 years of psych.
Yeah.
So I guess I had an understanding, I mean, it's just common sense really, to know that this is a game.
Yeah.
They break you down.
That was the structure, right?
The structure.
Yeah.
They break you down, you know, you're dead tired, okay, do more push-ups, do this, do that, do that. It's full on.
And it was in the intention to break you down, but also to build you back up.
To build you back up.
And make you more resilient.
Yeah.
And,
to know that you can actually do whatever you put your mind to.
And overcome those mental challenges.
Yeah. So even if you're physically exhausted, and all you have to do is think, fuck it, I want to do this, and you do it.
Yeah. Like get that inner resolve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's something I saw, like just realizing as well that within 7 minutes, the amount of things you can get done.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, you know, you'd have to, going into things like, you literally had 7 minutes to shit if you had to. So you had to run to the toilet, shit, and then come back or dig a hole, whatever. Yeah. Or pack up tents, move one base or one post to another location.
Yeah.
And it's not just that, you know, the whole basic training of the, like when you see obstacle courses and things like that, that wasn't really a big part of it. We spent a lot of time in classrooms and a lot of time running, shooting, obviously.
Yeah.
I was a sharpshooter as well, so I had to have a very good shot.
Yeah.
And I guess just the main thing that I took from it was realizing that once you set your mind to something, nothing's going to stop you.
Yeah, yeah. That mental capacity to overcome, like, because it does sound like what you're saying, there's an element of the physical challenge, but the mental challenge is more of the result from it, right?
It's all in your mind.
Yeah, yeah.
Your mind decides yes, your body's going to follow. That's as simple as it gets.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Even if you're shitting your pants, like literally from exhaustion, all you have to do is say, fuck it, I'm going to do this, and you will do it.
Yeah, yeah. Mental toughness.
It's huge.
Yeah, yeah. So aside from your background in the military, you said you have a bit of experience with psych. And also, I've heard you mention that you've got a background in plant ceremonial.
Yeah, I did what was called what is it? Plant spirit ceremonialist training.
I take it this came after?
That came after. This was, quite a while after, like 10 years after that. So there's a body in Melbourne named Shamanic Energy Training, which is Sharon and Joe. They're a great couple. They're really powerful in their medicine and space holding. Really grounded. They'll admit their shortcomings, and I think that's something why I really resonated with them. So it was pretty much a 10-day intensive in Bali.
Okay, yeah.
Where we just went through all sorts of things, a lot of Taoist stuff that came into it, space holding, obviously, preparing of brews, etc., drumming. Before that also we had to do an online drumming thing, learning how to do the shamanic drum, how to play the shamanic drum. Then there was a 12-month, what do you call it? What's the word I'm looking for? I've lost the word. Just a 12-month thing. Like mentorship, that's the one.
Right.
12-month mentorship after that, where, we sort of had like she called it a coven online, and we'd all communicate with each other and still do to a point. And, there were some really good people in that thing.
And was this your first foray into like spiritual community and spiritual training and that kind of thing, or like what? Because I'm curious, like what planted the seed for you to go and explore that? Like it must have been after military, of course, but like what started that journey?
I think my sort of, I guess, spiritual awakening, as everyone calls it, was around 2015, 16. There was a girl involved, and then I started, I don't know, I've always been sort of spiritual. I've always known there was something else. That was like in the army, it was, I won't say it was sick, but I was never scared. I just knew that it was okay, nothing.
No fear.
Yeah, it doesn't, like even there were some things that happened that could have been, some people probably shit themselves, but yeah, I don't know. I've just always known that there's a team by my side or at my back.
Like a feeling that's guiding you, kind of thing. Yeah,
definitely. So when I first got into it, I guess that it was like, I don't know if you believe in that whole twin flame thing, and that was where I thought someone, well, they probably are my twin flame, but that was sort of what got me into it. And then I realized that I don't really care if I'm with her or not. It's me. It's my mission here on earth.
Your inner work, your journey.
My inner work, exactly. Yeah. And that part of that is to help others find their inner strength and their inner guidance, let's say, and awaken to the possibilities of an evolved humanity, spiritually evolved humanity.
Man, I got chills hearing you say that. Like, I can relate in a lot of ways as well. Like I had a spiritual awakening myself, probably 2012, I think.
Yeah.
I had a really bad breakup.
Yeah.
I was dealing with a lot of trauma and unresolved shit from my upbringing.
Yeah.
Kicked out of home, exposed to lots of shit I shouldn't have been exposed to at a young age, and never really dealt with it. And then I think when I had that breakup, that kind of pushed me over the edge.
Everything.
It brought back all the feelings of like abandonment and all that kind of stuff. And just at the same time, I discovered Eckhart Tolle, New Earth, and like all his teachings are about like being in the present moment and finding that place and everything.
The power of now.
The power of now, and that was a huge, like among many other experiences I've had, but that was a big one for me. That was like spiritual journey 101, push in the right direction. And like throughout that and several other experiences I've had over time, getting involved in community. I used to do a bit of youth work, and I found myself in that for a little while as well. And I developed that love for supporting other people and like helping other people find the gift or just see the potential in themselves.
Yeah.
Like we all have some potential in ourselves in some way. And sometimes it just takes having a guide or someone to push you in the right direction or make you realize you've got that. And
to help you not be trapped by your limiting beliefs.
Exactly, yeah. And we all have limiting beliefs to some degree, and sometimes it's not even us. Sometimes it's like conditioning or our parents or somebody else putting their limiting beliefs on us.
Yeah, well, look at, psychology says that ages 1 to 7 are the prime time for programming your subconscious mind. So if you don't even know what you're hearing at the time, that's going in and that's staying there. That's creating your thought patterns.
Yeah, that's why I'm really conscious with my daughter. Like I want to make sure that she has all the tools and that she has the tools that I didn't have when I was younger, and the encouragement and the self-belief, most importantly. Yeah. That's
the key.
Yeah.
Why I'm here, I guess.
Yeah. Because it sounds like you and I have that similarity that we've both done a lot of our own inner work, and now we want to share what we know. and help other guys.
Yeah.
And that's what I think keeps me coming back and feeling so motivated about men's business, is that the guys we connect with, they're all similar minded. They all want to get better.
Yeah.
And like we're in such a great opportunity to share what we've learnt and connect with them and like.
Yeah, it's not only what we have, it's, I mean, sharing with other people. It's like, you know, the last event that we had with, what was that guy's name? And he shared that book with us and the knowledge on dietary.
Yeah. No, I agree with that too. Like I think you mentioned it once at one of the meetups, like just as much as we are teachers, we're learning as well.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I've always held that philosophy of, you know, we're all teachers and all students. It's, you know, I'm your teacher and your student, and vice versa.
Yeah.
That's...
Yeah. And back to what we were saying before about teachers as well, like they make some of the best teachers. Like they're students of life. They're always constantly learning and taking in things and teaching again, and you learn as you teach as well. Like I'm sure, I speak for myself here, but like I've learned a lot of things about myself doing these men's groups, and like I say it every month, but like every time I go to men's business, I feel like I grow a little bit more as a person.
Me too.
Yeah. It's like a subtle shift, but I noticed the differences about myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've felt that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what now?
I guess going into a bit more about maybe we can talk about our experiences with medicine. Like we've both dabbled and explored different medicines.
Yeah, because I'm just looking at there, like where I've got those certificates stuck up. I sort of thought I should explore that as well a bit.
Yeah.
Just because I did a metaphysics 12-month course, which, apart from knowing the basics already of chakras and, you know, how energy works, etc., that really got me into sort of the quantum physics realm, let's call it.
Yeah.
Where, yeah, it's all great to know, etc., but I'm also very, I guess, scientifically minded. I want to see it as a fact, not just some woo-woo sort of shit.
Yeah, I hear you on with that too.
I guess that's where Joe Dispenza and things like that come in, where I like to see things registered on, you know, graphs.
Yeah, if you see his books, like they're packed full of graphs and info about the science behind it.
EKGs and ECGs.
Yeah.
Yes, and I guess with Reiki, because Athena's master, I forget what qualification she is, it's like a master teacher or whatever. It was funny, I was never called to it. And then just at one point she said, do you want to come to this class? And I thought, yeah, I'll go. And then that, I guess, opened up a few channels, and my intuition also sharpened.
Yeah.
And I've always been intuitive, and that's sort of been my guide, I guess, that's led me to calm down a bit. And you know, I still like the boisterous things. You saw my last car was a WRX that had work done to it, and loud obnoxious exhaust, and I like shooting rifles and guns and punching things and sparring.
The perfect balance of like the wild man, and I was going to say like a healer as well.
But I think that's important.
Yeah.
For me anyway, it's an important balance, because I don't want to be, you know, some...
Peace.
No offense, but long hair and sit there meditating. No, I like the...
There's like groundedness.
I won't say violence, but I think it's part of the world we live in. Like,
what was that quote you shared? So yeah, as I was saying, that quote that you shared on social media about how... Maybe you can share it.
Yeah, so a harmless man is not a good man. A good man is a very dangerous man who has it voluntarily under control. Yeah. Which, we were just talking about the same circle that we went to, the men's medicine one, where you can tell that there are men that would have the ability to rip someone's head off if they really had to. Yeah. Yet choose to live in their heart.
Yeah.
Which I think is huge.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's an important point to make. I don't know if you've ever heard of that book, King, Warrior, Magician, Lover.
Mm-hmm.
And then we all have these different archetypes. Sometimes we lean more towards certain archetypes, but I think it's important to have a balance of it all. Like, you can't, you can never really become the king archetype unless you've had that warrior archetype.
For sure.
You can't really build a kingdom unless you've had the magician archetype and you know how to manifest things into reality.
Yeah.
And so you need the idealism and intuition and inspiration and all the divine aspect brought through, but you also need the physical, grounded, turn things into reality aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is like, I feel like when just talking to you about your experience with the military and then combining it with all the like spiritual aspect as well, it's like a perfect medium of the two, and they meet in the middle to turn things into reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that circles back to what we're doing with men's business, you know, like our intention with it, trying to make a difference in the communities that we exist in. And
yeah, well, it's, you know, it's I guess we go back to the thing of we're not just warriors, or we're not just providers. Like, we have emotions also, and we've been taught to suppress them. You know, okay, we came out of the dark ages or whatever, if you want to call it, you know, we had to fight.
yeah,
You know, 70 years ago, the world was at war. You know, there was almost every country fighting each other. That, you know, you think about what somebody would have seen through if they made it from the beginning to, as a soldier, you'd be scarred.
yeah,
Like, that's a lot of shit you got to bury deep.
yeah,
And
yeah,
and you know, now with these days, I think we have a legitimate claim to being able to talk about that and to release it, because, you know, we didn't really go into my childhood, but I was an accident. My mother was 17. She didn't want me. My dad left her before she'd even given birth. She was kicked out of the house by my grandfather. You know, there's a lot of trauma from day one.
yeah, man. I got full goosebumps here. Yeah, standing up on my arms, because I feel what you're saying, man. Like, I can only imagine how much of a psychological experience that was for you growing up, and how much of a weight on you.
Well, you know, I sorted it out for the better part.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll go into the plant medicine part of it soon. But yeah, I just think that it's important. You know, men, as we've seen through some of the statistics that we provide at the meetings, at the events, men have the most dangerous jobs, highest suicide rates, highest homelessness. The list goes on.
And still, there's a huge stigma around talking about what they did.
Well, there is. It's, you know, for me, because I'm a carpenter, I grew up, you know, being on building sites, and that it's like, have a, you know, teaspoon of cement and hard the fuck up.
And toughen up and man up, and that's conditioning. That's programming from.
Yeah,
you know,
like there's a time and a place for that, because if you're in the middle, let's say if you're in the middle of a firefight, you're not going to break down and cry because you're going to die.
Yeah.
There is a time and a place for it. But if you have something that you want to get off your chest, then you are fully in your right to do so.
Yeah.
By whatever means.
Yeah.
I'm not going crazy.
Yeah, yeah. But like, it's essential too, man, because like one thing I keep thinking about is the intergenerational patterns. Like, my dad didn't have the experience of having a men's group to talk about his feelings. And, you know, I think that might have been to his detriment, because it imprinted his kids in the future. And, you know, I believe there's going to come a time where men are going to be really comfortable with expressing themselves, or at least there's going to be more places and spaces for people to share what's going on and process their emotions in a healthy way.
Yeah.
And intergenerationally, that's how I think about it. Like, it's gonna, it keeps pushing down the line. You affect your kids. They learn that. They share it with their family and friends.
Yeah.
Like, we can break those curses. And
Well, yeah, you go into the whole spiritual healing thing, that, you know, also you can go into epigenetics, where it's scientifically proven that DNA changes because of, for example, people who went through the Second World War or whatever, they had high stress levels, high cortisol levels constantly. That gets handed down to their children. Mm-hmm. Then their kids are stress heads. They don't know why they're stressed, but they are. Yeah. That, gets them into trouble, and then they start fucking up or, getting arrested or, all of this stuff is huge to the future, our future, our kids' future, the future of humanity.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you've got the timeline therapy that we did at the men's medicine thing, which is, I've done that a few times with Athena, the NLP thing. That's also because I do believe that there is more than just our physical body. We can sort of get out of our body, go into our higher selves, go back to that event, change what happened, and then heal from that.
And that kind of leads me into there's a thing I saw once about how it takes one person to just stand up and say, I'm gonna break the intergenerational curses. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna do the healing on myself, and that healing doesn't just affect the future generations; it affects the past as well. Yeah. And what we're talking about, what I want to lead into is that both of us have had experiences with plant ceremony, mm-hmm. and we've had insights and ancestral experiences. Ayahuasca, I think, has become a lot more mainstream now, and people are a lot more open-minded. Mm-hmm. And I'd love to dive into that with you. What are some things that you've learned about yourself, or those experiences with your ancestors and guides talking through you and letting you know?
Ayahuasca I've sat, it's 11 or 12 ceremonies.
That's way more than I have.
Each one has been uniquely different.
Yeah.
Each one you come out of it feeling different.
No two experiences are the same, that's for sure.
No. Well, I had a similar theme with a few of them. I think it was just because the place that I was living in, the story was that it was demon ridden, so I was apparently getting attacked nightly, getting, I guess, my life force drained. So every time during that period that I'd sat ceremony, I pretty much got put to sleep and rested. Within that, also getting a few highlights and messages or recommendations to change this or change that. However, there were quite a few powerful ones. That one around my mother, because I rarely purge. Most of I sort of need to do a shit and don't really have to run to the toilet or anything. I just get that feeling like, okay, it's time now. So I go walk off, or stroll off. I tend to walk slowly, especially if it's cold. Yeah, and there was one particular one that I'd had, it was quite powerful, where I just had all this shit from my mum come up, and her higher self, my higher self, a lot of forgiveness, this and that, and then right at the end, just this fucking purge that felt like it was from hell. I just never vomited like that in my life, just let it rip.
Yeah.
And then the second I'd stopped, I won't say the second, 2 or 3 minutes later, I felt like magic.
Yeah. Like this
I
lightness.
just knew that had been healed and gone.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a similar experience once too. The second time I did ayahuasca, I've only done it twice. I remember this one time a purge was coming and I had no water on me. I was dehydrated and I was at a point where I was I knew there was something that needed to come up, but I couldn't. And I kept getting this message, ayahuasca was pushing me to go to the bathroom, to look in the mirror and make a choice. Am I going to get rid of this? And I had to look myself in the eye, literally, I felt like I was being guided to look myself in the eye in the mirror and make a choice to start healing. Hydrated myself, let the purge come out. Bro, it was intense. Like it felt like, man, it wasn't just normal vomiting. Like it felt like a spiritual purging. Like there was an energy coming out of me that was there for so long that I didn't know I had, and got rid of it, man. And then that's when the downloads came in. Like I had so many insights about myself and ways I could change my life and things that I need to focus on more of. I had this one really profound experience about how ayahuasca was telling me that like poetry and creative expression is my healing ability. It's my way of like sharing my gift with the world.
Medicine, so to speak.
And it was basically telling me like I need to learn how to harness that skill because it's a channeling ability.
Cool.
Like that's where I'll get my inspiration and insight to share. And not only that, like one really standout one that I had was she was telling me that you ever seen that thing? It's a Japanese philosophy where they have, it's a thing called kintsugi, where like if ceramics break, they piece it together with gold.
Gold, yeah.
And the meaning behind that is that in all the cracks, that's where the beauty lies. And like basically ayahuasca was telling me like we are all like that, human beings are like that. We get injured, we get wounds psychologically, mentally, spiritually, and that's where the light comes out of us.
Yeah.
Like we need to break in order to heal and in order to like experience a deeper level of life.
Yeah.
And then that leads into our journeys in like how we can help heal other people.
Yeah. Well, that was, the whole dark night of the soul thing. For me, it was 3 or 4 months. A lot of people have that also. Some people sort of have realizations come to mind quicker, but I just am a bit stubborn sometimes. And I was shattered. Like I was broken.
Yeah. You just reminded me of one really. The first time I ever purged, I cried like I'd never cried before. Like it was the deepest, most soulful cry I've ever had. It felt really healing. And what I was crying over was my older sister, who, like I'm open about it. She has had a drug addiction for like the better half of 20 years. She now has like really intense mental health problems.
Yeah.
And I cried like I'd never cried, man. And what ayahuasca showed me was that like while there's all that pain there, look how much love there is as well. There's so much unconditional love for your family, but also just remember to have that unconditional love for yourself. And that's when I purged, and it was just like this unbelievable experience.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Yeah.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. When you have those sort of deep-rooted pains or wounds, that sometimes you have to go through it. You have to face it point blank, accept it, embrace it, no matter how dark or ugly it is. And that's the only way you'll get through it.
Yeah. And Aya has that ability to show you like the worst parts of yourself, the dark parts of yourself, and then offer you the opportunity to change. And that's what the whole integration part is, right? Like, it's about taking those lessons and then doing something with it.
Exactly. It's not just a ceremony. It goes on for weeks or months or potentially years afterwards. I mean, the last time I did Aya was, I don't know, a couple of years ago, I think. It's getting close to, and I've kind of felt the call for it recently. I guess this has been an integration process where I've, so grateful for Athena's channeling ability. Have had lots of guidance around certain things, and that combined with Aya, and I've done cactus as well. Mushrooms, I microdose with mushrooms here and there, and I guess the psilocybin aspect is to rewire my brain, so to speak, because I see a psychologist just more out of maintenance, I guess, once a month to, I don't know, whatever. There's always something that comes up and it's always helpful. And I guess because what my future plan is, I'd really like to combine plant medicine with a type of psychotherapy, because I think that is hugely powerful.
I think that's going to be the future too. I'm
100%. It's got to be. It has to be.
I think so. I think there's a big renaissance going on with like psychedelics, and that eventually, this is my hope, that there's going to be clinics that are assisted, and there's proper setting.
Oh, it has to be proper setting.
And there's a shaman, and that like it's very respectful of the culture and everything, but it's also going to be much more accessible, and it's not going to be such a big focus on like just the medicinal industry that we have now. Like, it's going to look at a more holistic approach.
Well, the industry we have now is obsolete.
It is.
It always has been.
Yeah.
To a point. No, there are some very valuable medicines that are in modern medicine.
Yeah.
However,
I'm not discounting that at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. However, some things that are derivatives of plants, well, just take the plant.
Yeah.
Why bother?
Yeah.
You're getting much more pure, potent. You're getting it. That's one thing that I sort of went through with the plant ceremonialist training, was that each plant has an energy.
Yeah.
It's connected to the earth. We're from the earth. Everything, when worked in unison, when it's working in unison, then you are balanced.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I heard this one phrase somebody said once, that ayahuasca is like 10 years of therapy in a single sitting.
Fuck yeah.
Yes.
I know.
It gets straight to the point, straight to the source.
No bullshit.
Like, I've heard stories of like people who've recovered from drug addictions for like decades, and then they never touch drugs again after that.
Iboga,
yeah.
Ebola.
Yeah.
Iboga, the African variant, I guess.
High success rate.
High success rate with cutting addictions, tobacco, nicotine, heroin.
Even harder drugs like heroin and yeah. It's these plants are here to work with us. Yeah.
All we got to do is work with them.
Yeah, 100%.
And each other.
And each other, which is, it leads into what we're doing with men's business too. Like, both really like. And like I'm saying it out loud, but like we both really care about, helping other guys.
Yeah.
And sharing what we know.
I kind of, the first event that we did, ceremony, I guess it was partly ceremony, because we do, anyone that doesn't know, we do the sort of circle ceremony workshop style.
Like, it's held in that.
Yeah, we try and do it in a, get as much as you can out of one meeting, practical tools. Anyway, and after the first one, where I felt that, I just saw, and the feedback we got, that the guys, everyone was sort of really staunch and not wanting to talk to each other in the waiting room, and I sort of just went down and thought, fuck it, okay, we've got to break the ice and do this and do that, and then by the end, everyone was hugging and had shared, intimate things. Like, for men, you don't have to go into your deepest, darkest secrets, but just to know that there's other men out there that are experiencing the same thing, and it's okay.
Yeah. I had one of the guys mention to me once that he's shared things that he's never shared with his closest friends.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of it, because, man, if we don't do it, then we're just not going to make it. Yeah. We have to drop all that, I won't say smash the patriarchy, but there are some things that are okay, but we need to honour our women, man. We need 100%. To honour ourselves and the planet and animals, and
I feel like we're running out of time as well. Not in terms of our episode, but like humanity.
Oh, for sure.
Needs to start making changes, man. There's like.
It's gotten to a critical point now.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, this whole COVID thing, no matter which way you look at it, it's really shone a light on how fucked up society is.
And mental health.
Mental health.
As well as not treated as well as it should be.
You know, the fact that the governments were locking down so hard and people were suiciding and depression and
domestic abuse.
Domestic
and all
abuse that you can't justify.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into that part.
But I mean that is like big motivation why we do this, right? Like that's part of the fight, if you will. Like,
well,
to counteract the.
Yeah, I try to look at things not so much as fighting, but aligning, because a fight is a fight.
That's not. I guess that's not the right term, but I meant in terms of like the good fight for humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I get what you're saying, like aligning with the cause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With, you know, a balanced planet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Culture, society.
It's never going to be utopia, but.
Who knows?
Maybe when the UFOs come.
That's a whole other topic. That could actually make an interesting podcast.
Yeah. We can leave that for another one.
We're not going to go into that now.
But,
yeah.
Do you feel like there's anything else that we can include, or?
Don't know. Don't think so. I mean, there's lots we could.
Yeah,
just
I feel like
if you
maybe this is the start of many more to come.
Yeah. Well, you know, we wanted to do this as an introduction to ourselves and help people get to know us a bit better and get the word out, and you know.
And our plan is to interview like our guest speakers.
Yeah, we want to have guest speakers. Obviously, people that are like-minded and just wanting to help each other and grow.
Yeah, and shine a spotlight on mental health. And
that's a big one.
And like to give each other more tools to work with as well.
Yeah, because it is important. Like I just remember first, you know, when I was younger and had anxiety and depression and this and that, and learning tools that would snap me out of it. And I was just like, oh wow, this is great. You know, I can go from wanting to, you know, neck yourself to, okay, things aren't so bad. I can do this, or I can set these goals and work for them, and it's going to be okay. And it's like, fuck, it seems like fucking lifetimes ago. Yeah.
That's it, man. I think we're on a never-ending journey of growing and evolving. Like that men's medicine thing for me was really big as well. Like I got some new tools to work with. Stuff like that I value way more than like material things these days.
Well, that was one thing as well, because I realised that I want to also at the same time attend other men's groups, etc., workshops, because it's a never-ending journey. I always want to be expanding. I never want to be stagnant. Yep. And I feel that as we grow, we can help others grow even more.
Yeah.
In whichever way, if we end up holding plant medicine ceremonies or just workshops where we, I don't know, learn about plants and punching bags, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because the last one that we did with the Krav Maga, that was pretty good. Like everyone by the end of the thing was in a great frame of mind.
Yeah, and even some of the guys mentioned that they weren't in the best frame of mind coming into it, that it helped them across that feeling.
And that's what we're after.
Yeah.
To help people know that it's okay to feel down, it's okay to feel whatever, yet that's not your fixed, like, you know, you don't have to stay there.
Yeah, 100%.
You can and will if you want to.
Yeah. Move
and grow and achieve and do whatever the fuck you put your mind to.
100%. Yeah. I think that wraps up everything in a perfect bow right there, man.
Yep.
What you just said. Yeah.
Sweet.
Good first episode.